he went on to say that could go up to 20, 30 million. But they're not going to go up to 150, 160 million euros.
That's what he believes, yeah.
That's what he genuinely believes, and that's completely contrary to everything we heard last night.
Well, to be honest, you say that, but all Romano said is Man City are preparing a 150 million euro bid. Does that mean, that, and if you make it into pounds, it's 120, let's say 125 million, right? How do we know that bid isn't 100 million euros plus 25 million euros in add-ons?
We don't know that.
So maybe it's not contrary, and maybe it's right. Maybe Romano is saying that, but he's not going into specifics in terms of what add-ons and what, or maybe he's just heard 125 million, but Ornstein's heard more in detail that it's 100 million plus 25 million add-ons. Maybe that's the
you're right. No, because Romano said 150 would also include add-ons.
Well, there you go.
So it's
not contrary to what we heard yesterday.
Do you think this is playing out the way we all thought it was going to play out, and he's going to leave by the end of the window? Like, does this anything that's you've heard this morning change your mind at all?
No.
Me neither.
Nothing changed my mind in terms of how things are going. I think this weekend we're going to get especially today as well. He's set to turn up for training.
Yeah.
In a bid to be ready for the game on Sunday. If he's in the squad on Sunday, I think that's a big blow to Man City, because I think clearly if he's in training today, knowing Harry Kane, knowing how important he is to Spurs in general, like as I said before, if Kane wasn't linked to City, he's 100% in the squad for Sunday, even if he's only fit on Friday, right? 100% at least in the squad. Maybe not starting, but he's 100% in the squad.
Yeah.
So if he's not in the squad on Sunday, that's very telling, I think, to how far along or where this deal was probably heading. If he is in the squad, he can still leave, but I think it's a bit of a blow for Man City.
It's like a bloody Harry Kane handover game this weekend. That's what it feels like. It's like, obviously, we had to play Man City first game of the season.
Yeah,
this season. It was just...
That complicates things even further.
It's just so typical. It's just so typical, because obviously this was going to rumble on late, but because we're playing Man City, it had to rumble on late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I think what Ornstein was saying is, Spurs. He said, as you said, Man City would only pay 100 million plus potentially 20 or 30 million in add-ons. Levy isn't even going to consider anything below 150 million. So I think there's a standstill. So that's where all these reports are coming from at the moment. I think Man City are trying to unsettle Kane as much as possible to try and force Levy's hand.
Like he needs unsettling.
True, but then Ornstein went on to say he believes, and he's heard from other sources, that if Kane does stay beyond this season, he fully believes he'll knuckle down and try his hardest, because Kane is of that professional mindset where he wants the records. He knows that he can't let his standard slip. Right? There was even talk, I don't know if you remember, like not that long ago, leading into the Euros, that should Kane start in the Euros? Are England better off playing a quicker striker and that kind of stuff? Like, Kane knows, as much as good he is, if he lets his standards drop, football, you're only as good as your last game in football. And he knows he can't afford to have a season off, especially at his age. Maybe if you're 22, 23, you can afford to down tools for a season and get a big move. But when you're 28, going on 29, these are your last kind of. I believe he's got many years left, but I don't think he can afford to down tools or anything in his mind. I think he knows he's going to have to refocus. He's going to have to put everything aside and go and be his absolute best this season if he does stay.
I would say that I definitely agree with that, but I think that it'll be very hard for him, knowing that he wants out, to have a. Well, to be honest, though, he probably wanted out the whole of last season as well.
Exactly, and his best season.
And he had his best season.
And what
I was about to say is probably completely
And think about this as well, the fact that he wants out next season, he's got, and especially because he's going to be 29, he has to do even extra, probably, to convince a club to spend that amount of money on him when he's that age. So he's going to have to play out of his skin to show that he's still in his absolute prime, he's at his best, and that if he does stay, he's going to have to show Man City, look, I'm going to be a year older next year, but I'm as good as ever. Because imagine if next season, he downs tools, he only gets 10 goals, he only doesn't play so well, Is that going to convince Man City to stump up 100 million for a 29-year-old if he does that?
Especially when Haaland's available for half the price.
Exactly. He's going to have to do extra to convince them at that age. Only because he's that age. I would say if he's younger, yes, he could have a poor season and Man City would still be convinced because he's been good for so many years, and he's got a good age. I think that wouldn't be a problem. But because he's at that age now, 29, he's nearing 30. I think he's going to have to do extra to convince he's still at the top of his game.
Yeah, but even if he has a off season, an off season for him is scoring like between 15 and 20 goals. You know what I mean?
Probably,
that's
yeah.
an off season for Harry Kane. So if he does that this season, you're still going to have clubs in for him.
I don't doubt that.
I think you're going to have a Man City. You probably could have a Man United as well. There's not enough strikers to go round, is there, at the moment? There really isn't.
If he has a poor season, depends. Look. Yeah, you're right. Of course there'll be clubs in for him, but does he want to take that risk?
No.
He doesn't want to take it. He wants to make sure that next season, if Spurs aren't in the Champions League or whatever, or if we don't do well again this season or aren't up to his standards, he wants to make sure.
Thing, though.
I'm just saying he will want to make sure a team of a high caliber will 100% stump up that cash for him next summer. He doesn't want. I don't think he'll want to take a risk of maybe will they, won't they, because he's had a poor season and maybe like the Alexis Sanchez syndrome or whatever. You down tools for a bit and then you sign you get a big signing. It's hard to get that form back. I don't think he wants to put that doubt in other clubs' minds. He wants to make sure that they're sure of him going into next season. So I have no doubt if he stays, he'll be at his best. I have no doubt. I know it can be all this. It could be subconscious. I think he's too good a professional. I really believe that to let that get to him. I really believe that.
I hope you're right.